Hello students, in this section we are going to see about semaphore and how to choose an hard task. First one, semaphore. Semaphore is a system resource or system object which is used to control the access to a shared resources by a multiple process in a multiprocessing system. It is also used to give the smooth task process synchronization. In a multiprocessing system, whenever a task wants to access a shared resource, first it has to occur this semaphore. It is to indicate other process which wants to have the same resources, same shared resources, to tell that that resource is currently used by this process. Based on the implementation of the limitation of resource usage, this semaphore is divided into two categories: binary semaphore and counting semaphore. First, we'll see about counting semaphore. Counting semaphore. This counting semaphore limits the usage of shared resources to a fixed number. It maintains some binary count from 0 to n value. 0 to n value. The count associated with that semaphore object will be decremented when the process or task occurs the semaphore, and it will be incremented by 1 when the task or process releases the semaphore. And this semaphore, the state, it is having two states, signaled and non-signaled. The state of the semaphore will be set to signaled when the count is greater than 0, and the state of the semaphore is set to non-signal when the count reaches the maximum n number. And this creation and usage of this counting semaphore object is totally depend on the operating system kernel. The real-time example for this counting semaphore is a dormitory system for accommodation. So in dormitory system, there will be some number of beds will be available for the user. When a user wants to avail the facility of dormitory, he can come and approach the dormitory caretaker. If the bed is available, the caretaker will hand over the key to the user. So during that time, he can share all the facilities of the dormitory, like a fan, telephone, toilets, of everything. If while he is coming and approaching, if the room is not available, then the user can register his name, mobile number with the caretaker. Whenever the bed is available, he will be notified and he can avail the bed. When the user vacates the room, he has to hand over the room key to the caretaker. So this is the best example for counting semaphore. Next is binary semaphore. Binary semaphore is binary semaphore is also called mutex. It is the synchronization object which is provided by the operating system for the task process synchronization. It implements exclusive access to a shared resource by allocating the resource to only one process at a time, and it stops accessing other process when the resource is being used by one process. Here, the mutex object or binary semaphore object can be created by any process or task. But at a time, one process or task can own the mutex object. Here also same thing. The mutex object is having two state. One is signaled and another one is non-signaled. The state is set to signal when this mutex semaphore, binary semaphore or mutex semaphore object is not owned by any process, and the state will be set to non-signal when it is owned by any process or thread. All these processes will be controlled by kernel of the operating system. Next, here also we'll see one real-time example. Real-time example for binary semaphore is hotel room accommodation. The rooms of the hotel will be provided for the user who pays and who follows the norms of the hotel. So if a person wants to avail the hotel room, he can come and approach the hotel receptionist. If the room is available, the receptionist will hand over the key to the user. He can, during this period, he can share all the facilities of the room, like fan, telephone, televisions, toilets, everything. While vacating the room, he has to hand over the key to the receptionist, so that if whenever one room is vacated, the receptionist will inform to the other user who booked in advance. So this is the best example for binary semaphore. Next, we will see how to choose an ATAS. So before choosing the ATAS, there are some factors need to be analyzed thoroughly. The factors can be non-functional and functional. So we'll see first all the functional requirements. First one is process support. It is not necessary that all the real-time operating system should support for all the kind of processor architecture. Next is memory requirement. The real-time operating system should have ROM memory for holding the operating system files and RAM memory for storing the operating system services. Next is real-time capabilities. It is not mandatory that all the real-time operating system should have real-time behavior, or all the real-time operating system should behave in a real time. But here the task process scheduling policies plays an important role in a real-time operating system. Next, kernel and interrupt latency. The few kernel will disable the interrupt while executing some certain task. So during that time, that interrupt latency will be occurred. Interrupt latency is nothing but it is a time elapses from when an interrupt occurred and when it is serviced. Uh, the thing is, the real-time applications who needs real-time requirement, there that interrupt latency time should be minimum. Next, inter-process communication and the task synchronization. All the operating systems should provide all the inter-process communication mechanism, and the task synchronization should be go smoothly. Next, modularization support. It will be very good if the operating system supports for modularization. Modularization is nothing but where the user can do some modification in the operating system and he can recompile the new image of the operating system. Development language support. Operating system should have all the runtime libraries for running the applications which is written in Java or .NET and all. See, the Java virtual machine, it is needed to run the Java application, and .NET Compact framework is needed for running the Microsoft .NET application. So these and all should be there in the operating system. Next, non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirements are custom developed or off-the-shelf, cost, development and debugging tools availability, ease of use. Custom developed or off-the-shelf is nothing but depending on the operating system requirement, it is possible to go for the complete development of the operating system, or we can go for the readily available operating system based on the embedded application which we want to execute. Next, cost. The total cost for developing or buying or maintaining the operating system should be analyzed before going for the operating system, before going for the real-time operating system. Next, development and debugging tools availability. The checking of the availability of development and debugging tools on the operating system is the important factor need to be analyzed before choosing the real-time operating system. The operating system which has all these facilities are superior in performance. Next is of use. How easy it is to use. It is another important factor which need to be considered while searching for the real-time operating system. So these are the factors to be considered while choosing the real-time operating system. Thank you.